also be getting into a little bit on the genders. What we think there are two sexes here. Actually, there are three sexes, and they are, you could say, male, female, and androgynous, but more accurately, there are three sexes: Ire, Mane, and Manu. All right? They are the three sexes. They are the three primal force fields, source of source. And when we see male, when we think of the word male, what we are talking about is Mane. And when we see or talk about female, we are talking about Ire. And when we see an androge, which would be, if you wanted to use male and female, that would be androge as the third gender. It could be a hermaphrodite, where it might have boy and girl parts, or it could be a eunuch, where it had neither. Right? It has a different orientation to sexual energy runnings, and therefore different feelings, different types of attraction versus non-attraction. But these are the three genders, and technically you can call them androgynous and male and female, but more accurately they are Mane, Ire, and Manu. And they're each just as holy as the other, and they each have specific purposes in relation to running energy just on personal levels, or even in collectives. Say if you have a whole bunch of Mane people on a planet and a whole bunch of Ire people on a planet and a whole bunch of Manu people on a planet. They all do something together that affects the entire planet in either a positive or negative way. So we'll learn a bit about the three genders, and there are also natural orientations, 4 basic natural orientations. You have heterosexual, you have homosexual, you have bisexual, and you have asexual. Yeah, I keep trying not to fit into the last category. It's like I think I did them all in my other lifetimes. This time it's like, hello down there. Come on, elementals, wake up. Right? Because asexual, they actually really, really are, and it's normal, and it doesn't deserve labels, and it's not because they have an issue or a hang-up. There are people who really have no sex drive in terms of what other people call a sex drive. They have it, but it's a drive. It's a passion, but it doesn't circulate in the same intensity in the lower chakras. It tends to be more associated with higher chakras and being able to go up and out higher. And that doesn't mean it's higher better, that kind of stuff like, oh, you're just in your base chakra. A lot of that snooty spiritual stuff, that's nonsense. Because if you can't get into your base chakra, you're not going up very far, because you need to take your base chakra with you, right? So there are different leanings with each of these types of the three genders, and each of the three genders can have any one of those orientations, or be a little bit of this one, a little bit of that one. So when people start pointing fingers at people that are homosexual and calling them bad names and telling them they don't have a right to be Christian and all this, boy, that makes me angry. Because you know what? No, I won't say that. I'll probably get shot. I'm just saying, once upon a time, there was a man I once knew who used to be my brother, half-brother, and he liked boys and girls. I just put it that way, and I'm not gonna go any further than that. But anybody who knew Miriam might know who I'm talking about. And it was natural. If we could get rid of some of the garbage filters we have been fed to manipulate and control people and turn people against people and make them hate each other. All right? If somebody is gay, that does not mean they are deviant. It means they're obviously not in a heterosexual form. All right? Now, they can be any of the three genders, but they have a dominant leaning or a dominant set of filters that are the structure of their light body that create a natural attraction of polarities in energy that comes out toward same sex. But you will just, you'll find, even in same-sex couples, there is still one that runs more Mane and one that runs more Ire. So you still have guy and girl. Sometimes they'll flip back and forth, which is actually heterosexual, homosexual couples actually have a little bit easier way of doing this, where sometimes, like, you're the guy and I'm the girl, and sometimes I'm the guy and you're the girl, sometimes you're running more Mane, sometimes I'm running more Mane. They actually have a bit more flexibility as far as switching it. People who are very, very heterosexual, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, too. It's not as if each one is a different stage of evolution and you outgrow one to grow up into the other. Some people look at it that way, and it isn't that way. They each are holy, they each are sacred, they each are natural. And they each have the